Hello everyone, welcome back to Planet Coaster, welcome back to Warped Worlds. This is the penultimate episode, so we've got this and one more and the park will be completed. I only know that because I've literally been playing this for the last 2 nights and all this morning constantly just trying to get this park finished, and it's got to the point now where, because it was sort of only about halfway there when Planet Coaster 2 was announced, and now the launch date has crept right up. We're 4 days ahead of Blanco 2. I felt the need to try and work efficiently, as much as making stuff that still looks nice and putting effort into it, but using pieces and techniques that are a lot quicker than what I'd normally do. So there's less minor detailing and more getting on with it and just getting it finished, really. It's from a completionist point of view. Everyone's done the same. They want to finish off their Planet Coaster 1 parks before Planet Coaster 2. I've just left it right till the last minute because I've been more focused on playing Parkitect and doing other stuff in life, obviously. So the first thing then that I'm working on is finishing off the Roaring Twenties themed area, and that includes giving the coaster a very, very light bit of theming. You can see we're just doing a sort of almost like a jail yard type scene with some chain link fencing around the side and a couple of police cars running around. Not realistic at all, not well thought out, not detailed, but enough just to say we've got some animatronics and some theming on the coaster. I've also got some spotlights in. I'd already placed them down because I planned to do a really elaborate sort of theme section here when I thought I might have more time to do it. And that's pretty much it for the coaster. Off camera as well, I've sorted out all the queue line and covered everything up because that was moved and basically tore the whole thing apart, but that's all fixed now. Moving into the central plaza of this area where we have the coaster tunnel element, just tidying it up with some gardens and some rock work, really using the TMTK rocks, which are recolorable, which is good. And then just doing some very basic planters with some mulch and some basic flower bed things, I guess. The mulch is clipping as well. There's X, Y, Z fighting, whatever you call it. So I've just tried to cover it up the best I can with plants. Oh, I'm sorry if you can hear my phone going off rather. I do not want to stop and restart this commentary, so it's staying in there. There we go, put it on silent. I don't need to answer that call, it's fine. Yeah, so as much as sort of running out of time to get the build done, I'm also running out of time for the commentary, so it's not going to be edited or anything like that. I'm just going to go for it, and whatever we get is what we get. I'm afraid I can't imagine these videos having massive amounts of views anyway, because I can see there's already a load of Planet Coaster 2 content up on YouTube. I believe a lot of creators have had the early access, which is great, so it means we can see what the game's like, but I'm not going to watch too much because I'm sort of like a kid at Christmas. Come Wednesday, I want to experience all the new pieces and rides and pools and everything else for myself. So that's what's going to be going down, basically. And yes, hopefully I'll be doing content for Planet Coaster 2. I want to try and learn how to play the game first, because obviously, although a lot of it will probably copy over from this game control wise, there's still going to be a lot of new stuff to learn, and I want to get that down to a T really before I start doing videos. I want to make sure that the content is half decent before putting it out. I've not really, I think I've only done one Planet Coaster video since Blanco 2 was announced, so I've not really talked about it that much. But I am really looking forward to playing the game for the sole reason that I feel the developers have taken on all the feedback from YouTube, everything that people have been saying, oh, that needs fixing, for example, the UI, the pitch blackness inside buildings for dark rides and stuff like that. They've taken all that feedback on board, and they've made what looks like is going to be a really, really good predecessor to this game. Whether there's probably still some stuff missing, there's still some stuff that isn't perfect, but I think they've done a damn good job. And if you look at other games in the same genre, you know, like Park Beyond, for example, I think it's, you know, it's a world of difference. Obviously, we won't even talk about the stuff that Atari did years ago. Don't get me wrong, Parkitect's still a great game, and probably my favourite game as well, is sort of what this channel was built up on. But I do want to really dive into Planet Coaster 2, no pun intended, and see what we can do with it. But back to the build that we're working on at the moment. You can see I've now moved over to the medieval area, and I'm just doing some finishing touches here as well, because I got the bulk of this done in the previous episode where nothing recorded, annoyingly. It's probably my favourite thing I've built in the park as well. Lost all the footage for it. But yeah, we're just finishing off this area. It's a very small area, so it wasn't too much trouble at all. Just doing some bridges and fences and some rock work around the paths. And then moving on to the final thing that I build, which is a restaurant building. This is pretty much a bog standard restaurant building with just some stone sort of textures and some brickwork. And yeah, I did stick a Mexilente stool in there because I thought, because we're going for Spanish medieval, that kind of fits the theme. It doesn't really, but it's good enough. A tapas place or a paella place would have been better, probably. Yes, just using this brick piece to do some details and some trims and borders and whatnot, and then using the wooden post for the trims for the upper section of the building. You can see that I've only sort of used 3/4 height walls for the lower part. This is just so that it's a little bit more to scale. That's something that I want to start focusing on a bit more. The top half of this building is huge, but it works for me fine as a facade. It's kind of a restaurant, but I guess more of a snack sort of place. But yeah, I think it works out fine. Kind of starting to ramble now already. Don't worry, it's only a 10-minute video. Or 10 minutes of speed build anyway. And then cinematics at the end. So I actually am quite pleased with the way this building turned out, using very basic windows. I didn't want to do anything, like I say, time consuming at this point, so I wanted everything to be straightforward and quick. And yeah, it worked out fine using pretty generic pieces, but using them in interesting ways, just to make a decent medieval style building. Really, there's not much more to it at all. And using standard roofs, so barely any sort of TMTK or custom stuff on this building, except for these roof tiles that you see putting in now, and some dirt decals as well, because I always feel that adds to the texture of a building, makes it look a bit more interesting and a bit more realistic. And that's pretty much it for the time lapse. Just finishing off this building. A couple more finishing touches. I did also add a couple of supports to the coaster, because the one that was already there was going straight through the roof of the building, so I disabled that one and made a couple of custom ones, which didn't take too long at all. And then finally, I think I just add some planting and flowers and stuff around the edge of the building and call it a day. So that's everything done now in the park, except from one final themed area. So we need to do a whole themed area before we can finish the park. But that'll be coming up in the next episode before Plan Code 2. Thanks for watching, enjoy the cinematics, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.